Kohler Systems for supplying the first sponsor of the channel. They give all kinds, I'll leave their information down in the description down there. So if you need anything for your truck for leveling it out, give these guys a holler and they'll hook you up. So let's go ahead, let's begin jacking this truck up, get the wheels off, and we'll start disassembling. As you can tell, we got 40 inches from the ground all the way to the top of the bed. So let's go to the front and see what we have up there. And on the front, as you can tell, it's on the ground to the top of the fender. We have about 37 and a half. Y'all can see right there, 37 and a half. So that's roughly about 3 inches. All right, so what you want to do is you want to loosen the nut off your outer tie rod. Get that, take it off. Go ahead and loosen up the 2 studs or the 2 bolts out of the lower shock mount there. Then you want to go up here and loosen the 3 bolts that hold the top of the strut. Once you get those loose, then you're going to go down here to the bottom of the ball joint, pull the little pin out if there's one in there, loosen that off. Don't take it off all the way, loosen it until it's almost off. Then you want to smack it with a hammer, but you want to hit the knuckle. Do not hit the A-arm or the bottom of the ball joint, because you'll mess it up and the ball joint will just spin and you'll never get it tight again. So let's go ahead. Let's get this taken off, get those taken out, get those out, and we'll go ahead and get this dropped out. So you may have a better shot getting to the top of the strut bolts from the top, and that's what we're going to try to do. So let's go ahead and remove those clips off of there and get some extension and a ratchet, and we'll bust those loose. It's too loud. I got my fan on. It's pretty damn hot. I'm going to take these bolts out that come with it, and I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on the bolts. That way to help hold them in there. They don't back out. I'm going to use a little bit of red Loctite. I'm not going to use a lot, just enough to help hold the threads in there. As you can tell, it's not very much. You don't need a lot. You want to do this to all 6 bolts. Alrighty, so after we put the Loctite on those Allen bolts there, you tighten them down, and the bolts that come on the studs, they replace the ones that you took off the strut mount up there, and they come with washers. So you put those down in there, you tighten them down. I'll say give them about 15 foot-pounds. They should be good. So now let's go ahead. Let's try to fit this back up in there and see if we can get it in there. So, all right, so when you're doing this, I went ahead and I took off the upper ball joint thing, made it a lot easier. That way I don't mess up the bottom one. You want to take out your stabilizer bushing bolt. It gives the lower control arm a little bit more room to move. So when you do that, you take your big crowbar, stick underneath there and push down, and you should be able to bring the strut back over. So now what you want to do is take your jack, put it underneath your lower control arm, and jack it up and line your bolts back up for your bottom of your strut. When you stick this in, make sure you put your bolts back on top. That helps hold that up there. So let's go ahead, let's jack this up and get these bolts lined up and put the bolts back in it. Alright, so when you put the bolts back in here, it may take 2 people with the pry bar to get them bolts back in lined up. Also, when you put your strut back in and whatnot, take your pry bar and stick underneath the spring while you have the lower control arm jacked up as far as it goes. When it starts to pick up the vehicle, put your pry bar in there, push down on this, and put your bolt, your nut, back on there and screw it on as far as you can. That way it'll hold it. And there's a little Allen wrench piece that goes under there to hold the stud, and you can tighten it down. You may get lucky enough where you can put the pry bar and push it all the way down and tighten it down, and it may work that way also, like it did in this application. That's what I did. So and don't forget to put your stabilizer bushings back in, sway bar bushings, put those back in, tighten those down. Don't forget to tighten your outer tie rod on, and don't forget to tighten your top strut mounts, bolts, I mean. So let's go ahead, let's throw the wheel on here.